All right. Can I get a reply before I start with it? Whether everything is clear, guys? Okay. Whether you can see the screen clearly and my audio as well as video is clear. Just a confirmation. All okay, right? Right. So let us start. I was about to start at 6, then due to the prayer time and all, guys, I had to start at 6:30. So this session, guys, okay, I have specially arranged. I informed you all during my session class time also. You'll be having your first term exam. I wanted to have the first term exam, like you all know, but the hall there was an issue. However, there's a small help or guidance for you all to like okay be prepared for your business studies term exam. Accounting also I'll be having a session, right? Okay, I'll inform about that in the same group, right? So guys, in this session, guys, okay, what I want you all to say at first is like some important points when it comes to business studies, right? So you all know that. Can I get a reply, guys? Everything is clear, right? My audio, video, as well as you can see the screen, no? Right? You can see the screen clearly, right? I would like students' response, right? Okay, that's the only way we communicate. Your video is not switched on, right? So therefore, use the chat option. Yes, right. All right, students. Okay, all fine, right? Yes. So listen, I would like to get your reply also regarding this. So when it comes to business studies, guys, what you shouldn't do is what you know. Number one, let me say, guys, when it comes to business studies, what you shouldn't do, right? Okay. So number one, guys, if you are a student who is what memorizing notes, right? Okay, if you are memorizing notes, sometimes it will help you in your first term, guys. Okay, it will help you in your first term because in first term with our students, teachers will not be very strict on you all. But trust me, if you memorize Buddha, it is not going to help you in business studies. Those days means like I did my A levels in 2008. During that time, I always say this during my class. You all know that, right? Most of you all know. Uh, so I have said you all that if you memorize, it will help you, but not for an A pass. It will help you for an S pass. The good example is 2025 A level paper students. If you take those students who memorized and went for the exam is unable to write the part 2 paper, guys, okay, because it was all about like comment, discuss, write the strategies. You should know the theory. That doesn't mean I am saying like don't study the theory, just go and write the exam using your knowledge. No, you can't do that. You should know the theory, you should know the notes from the theory class, and then you should be able to apply, especially in part 2 writing, right? So part 2 writing is a different technique, Buddha, right? So I will talk about that also. However, I'll be giving you all a small recap on your first term exam paper. So let's talk about, guys, okay? So what is not to be done? Memorizing. What should be done is, Buddha, you have to always understand the concept. You should be understanding the concept, right? So 2025 A level, if you memorize, guys, you can't do, you will be, they wouldn't have done the paper properly, guys. If you understand and do means they would have done the paper. So let me come to your paper right now, Pute. 2027 A level first term consists of normally, right? The first term is chapter number 1, chapter number 2, and chapter number 3, right? So what is chapter number 1? You all know we talk about like background of business, no, background of business, and it has another area called what? Business environment. Chapter 2, it's all about what? Business ethics and business social responsibility. Chapter number 3, this is the chapter, guys. Chapter number 3 only you will understand exactly. Even though you memorize, you can't write answers, right? It's all about a lot of terms. No, it's all about the fiscal policy, monetary policy. It's about the government and the business, right? So we you should be perfect in these three in order to what, guys, okay, focus on your first term paper, right? Okay, so I'll be discussing a model paper also which consists of like the 50 questions, MCQs, 30 MCQs, 20 fill in the blanks, as well as I'll be clearing your doubts. You can ask any doubts related to first three chapters, right? Even from my theory class, Diamond students, I just made the link public. So for the theory students, don't worry, you will also be getting the recording only if you are present to this session. I'll be giving that during the class. So guys, there might be some outsiders also, right? I just said the coordinator, let's make it available for anyone. So I'm not charging anything. You all know it's a free session here. So let's move into this Puta, like area of this what chapter number 1 first of all, right? So let us understand with it, like not memorize. I'll say what is memorizing students. Some of you all know like what is business. It's all about like fulfilling human needs and wants by providing goods and services, right? Okay, by involved economic activity. It's not like memorize. You should know the concept where you should be able to explain it to someone else in very simple terms, right? So I would like you being responsive also, right? So let me start with the topic Puta, like background of business, right? Okay. So in this background of business, without business environment, background of business, let me give you all a small mind map regarding this, guys. What you should be knowing in this background of business, you know, in my theory class, I taught you all how to create a mind map also, right? That's what we learned before the exam. We never study the theory tools before the exam. You all know that. As a student, Buddha, right? Uh, right, there's a doubt, sir. Will we get chapter 4? It depends on your school, guys. If they had covered chapter 4, if you ask from me a normal first term paper is chapter 1, 2, 3. Until chapter 7, second term, until chapter number 11, it's third term. That's the general format. But if the paper is prepared by a school teacher, she can provide questions until, or she or he can provide questions until what they had covered. Now, even if I take in my class, guys, you all know group 1 students, we are almost done with chapter 5, and group 2 students, we are in chapter 4. But however, I'm going to talk about a general format of first term paper, which is chapter 1, 2, 3. So in background of business, Buddha, here look, you should be able to define the term business. So when I'm saying you should be able to define the term business, you ask from yourself, Buddha, you ask like this, whether you are able to define what is meant by, just a minute, guys. I need to plug in this. Right, sorry. You should ask from yourself whether you are able to define what is business. If you can define business, you don't want to go and refer the note or study or memorize. But let me say, you should include this term when it comes to defining business, because that's the first thing. No, this is the first term, first chapter. First chapter is background of business and business environment, but it has two areas. One is background of business, other one is business environment. So in background of business, the first thing is you should be able to define business. So when you are defining business, you should use these words, Buddha. Without these words, that's not a full answer. Number one is needs and wants of humans, right? Needs and wants. The other one is goods and services. Also, you should be able to include the term motive. Also, you should be able to include the term, if this is included, it's a better answer, something called economic. So literally, I'll be teaching you all also, right? Okay, rather than just I could discuss papers. I think my theory students will be okay with that. But let me help. I'll be doing it very fast though, right? Okay, because I have to cover all three, and I'll cover the most important, mostly tested areas, right? So if you are going to define business, Buddha, you should be able to use these four terms in the definition. For example, I'm going to give you four definitions, Buddha. A business is anything that fulfills needs and wants. A business is anything that provides goods and services. A business is anything which is done with a motive. A business is any economic activity. Do you all agree all four definitions are correct, guys? I'll repeat, right? Right? I'll repeat. Business is anything that is done to fulfill human needs and wants. Business is anything that provides goods and services. Business is anything which is done with a motive, or business is any economic activity. Do you all agree with all four, guys? I would like responses, right? Okay. You all agree with all four? Better to use the everyone option, guys, okay? No? Yes. All four is correct. However, if I say you to select one out of these four පුතා මේ හතරෙන් இந்த நாலுல ஏதாவது ஒன்று මේ හතරෙන් එකක් select කරන්න කිව්වා නම් which is the best answer guys, okay, which is the best answer? If you want to select one out of this, what is the best answer? Which is the best answer? If you want to select one out of these four, is it the first one, second one, or third one, or fourth one? Business is anything that would fulfill needs and wants. Business is anything that would provide goods and services. Business is anything that is done with a motive. And business is refers to any economic activity. I have multiple answers. I have 1, 4, 2. I said choose one because there is something called best definition. I see most of you all are saying 4, 2, but you know guys, okay, what is the answer? Business, anything that would fulfill human needs and wants. That's the not the fourth one, Buddha, not the fourth one. If you want to select one answer, it should be business is anything that would fulfill human needs and wants. Shall I prove it to you all? You ask from your school teacher, or if you're following a class somewhere else, you can ask from them, say in very simple terms, what is business? Business is anything that is done to fulfill human needs and wants. Because think about any business or any business Buddha will involve in all these four. But basically, why a business would survive and will not survive? Just say me guys, why would a business not survive? If that business fails to make the customers happy, if the business is unable to fulfill the needs and wants, the business will not survive. So this is the best definition out of all four. But when you are creating the definition Buddha, you should be able to connect all four. For example, business is anything that would fulfill human needs and wants. So to fulfill human needs and wants, the business should provide something. No, that something is actually product. However, the main product is what? Goods and services. Then why this business involved in goods and services? Because business has a motive. No, it could be a profit motive or any other motive which is non-profit motive. It could be as a service-oriented business or profit-oriented business, or it could be any intention should be there. And then economic activity. Now I'm interested in know, most of you all are saying economic activity, but I am pretty sure guys, I am pretty sure, right, okay, if you are not in my first session or you are not in my theory class, I am pretty sure you know business refers to an economic activity. I would like to know students who have participated here, you all know business refers to an economic activity, am I correct? You all know that? You all know? I mean, if you're not in my theory, you all know that very well, right? I'm pretty sure, right? Business refers to an economic activity. Be responsive, Buddha. But reply at the end, right? Business refers to an economic activity. Done? You all know, right? But guys, what is meant by this economic activity, guys? What is meant by economic activity? If I ask from you all, can anyone say what is economic activity? What is meant by, well, not the economic activities. I want what is meant by economic activity. Yeah, the theory class එක නම් අනිවාර්යෙන් උත්තර දෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? I would like to know like students who are not in the theory but you are like you know the answer. What is it? What is economic activity? Economic activity is actually, and it is something you do in an economy, right? Okay. Economic activity is something you do in an economy. So what is economy? Economy is a place where you do economic activities. That's the exact definition. But you all know guys, okay, why the activities are actually what you know. What is it, Buddha? Production, exchange or distribution, and consumption. So these are only activities. Why we call it as economic activity, you know, because we produce, exchange and consume using what you know, using limited resources. Now for example, we should produce what Pute? We should produce goods and services, no. So now for example, I'll take good is a table guys. So table should be produced using resources, no. So these resources are limited resource. So what is limited resource? Limited resource means it is scarce in nature. So what is scarce? Compared to the wants, the availability is less. So another name for scarce or limited resource is known as, we call it as economic resource. That's why Putta, now just think, shall I say the example I taught you all in theory? if I sell you 2 buckets of water saying that this is Mahavali river water, will anyone would buy? No one would buy. They will say, I'm going to say this is Mahavali river water, come and buy. No one would be buying. Reason is what? You might say, sir, it is available now, why should I pay you money and buy? So a business cannot sell anything that is freely available. So a business should sell if anything is not freely available, it is scarce in the market. So using those resources, the business would, what guys, would involve in production, they would produce goods and services. We call it as Puta, what is it? Business would what? Adding value to resources. No, business adding value to resources. So you know that if they ask you what are the main two functions of a business, it is adding value to resources as well as fulfilling needs and wants. Fulfilling needs and wants. So fulfilling needs and wants is one of the main function. If a business cannot fulfill needs and wants, it is not considered as a business. So right now guys, you should be able to know. So I am able to define business as well as I am able to say what are the main two functions. Let's again, I won't like go very deep in all the areas put here. This is the first thing I'm saying now. So as a business study students, always put into your head, you should not memorize note guys. Sometimes you memorize, you will score better in only in your first term. Trust me, when terms progress, when the lessons progress, you would find it difficult. Why is it? You are not going to get direct questions from your tutor from the syllabus guide. However, you should know the notes, but you should be able to apply that knowledge, right? So guys, everyone say it with me. You can switch on the audio. If not, you can say at your place, no problem. Business is all about what, Putef? I'll just say some terms, you fill in the blanks, right? Business is all about like what guys? Fulfilling, what, Putef? Fulfilling, you say, I don't want to hear, don't worry, is fulfilling human needs and wants. So to fulfill needs and wants, the business should provide what? Goods and services. So the business providing goods and services are not magic, no, Buddha. God did not give goods and services, no. They should produce it, they should exchange it. That's why we say business involves in economic activity. So why we call those activities as economic activity? Because the resource that we use to produce, exchange and consume are scarce, Buddha. That's why it's economic activity. And why people involved in business? Now why do I teach? Why do I teach, Buddha? Because I want to earn money, no? And at the same time, I would like that I am sharing my knowledge with you also. I might have more than one objective. However, I should have an objective. Can I get a reply? You are perfect in the definition, Buddha. Definition, you are perfect. And you know what are the main two functions. If they ask you in the exam, what are the main two functions? Adding value to resource and fulfilling needs and wants. Can I get a reply from you? I would like if everyone replies, guys, okay? පුළුවන් තරම් පුතේ memorize කරන එක අත්තරලා දාන්න, right? Okay? It's about like, okay, you understand the concept තමයි, හරි? Right. Okay, so now let me say, what would, now we are going to discuss papers, you know. So let me say, Buddha, like which area normally, right, okay. Let me say like which area they would normally, guys, okay, what focus on, like, okay, targeting, right? Okay, so sure in your MCQ papers they will ask you here, still we are in this concept, you should know the difference between needs and wants. I am pretty sure, guys, you go for any class or whatever school you study, you know this. But eket puta, there are some students like they don't know the meaning, they just memorize. Now for example, everyone knows what is needs are limited, wants are unlimited. Everyone knows in this class, no? Needs are what, Pute? Needs are limited, wants are unlimited. Needs are essential, wants are optional. Everyone knows the meaning of that, no? So wants, needs are essential means without needs a person cannot survive. Wants are optional. Optional means without wants a person can survive, but it is their like desire, it's optional. In addition to like requirements and basic needs, these are extra things, right? So limited, unlimited, Puta. Now look, in your O levels, if you know limited, unlimited, it's more than enough. In A level, if they might ask you needs are limited, wants are unlimited, explain this concept. So if you don't know the meaning, don't think that always they will ask, write down the difference between needs and wants. So limited needs, needs are limited means with you can count to your fingers. No, bonds are unlimited means you can go on saying it's not it's, you cannot say a specific number, it is continuously being said unlimited. Then guys, you all know other differences. Now let me just go on saying other differences between needs and wants. So needs, Buddha, is common for every individual. No, needs are common. Wants differs between person to person. I need food, you need food, anyone needs food. But I want paratha, you need rice, another person needs pizza. So it differs from person to person. And one more thing you all know. Now these advertisements of business you all see, guys. Now, for example, if I ask from you all, how many of you all want iPhone 17 Pro Max? I would like to know, guys. Okay, say me. How many of you all want iPhone 17 Pro Max? එහෙම කිව්වනම් how many of you all want 17 Pro Max? You will say yes, you want. But now you just think, guys, you want iPhone. iPhone, let's take the concept iPhone. Who created iPhone? A business in the form of like product. Actually, they are creating wants. No, that's why Buddha wants could be created by what Buddha? Wants could be created by business. No, wants could be created. So actually you say I want a bike, I want a car, I want a laptop. Look at those things what you say you want. I want shawarma, I want like burger, I want pizza. Want එකක් පුතේ හදන්නේ business එකක් තමයි. Now I can create like a new class and say come and join this class. Okay, so look, now for example today guys, okay, look, today's seminar guys, I created that and you all wanted that. Is it clear? Understood, guys? So the needs I can't create a new need, Puta. Our basic need is what you know. You all know that the basic need is food, clothing, and shelter. No, these are the basic physiological needs. However, you all know nowadays, like even health, security, education, no, entertainment, transportation, communication is also what Pute need, right? So then the next difference is, guys, no one can create a need. Business will create one. No one can influence what you need, Puta. You need is you need. But what you want could be influenced by advertisement, you say. When you see an advertisement like, oh, your friend is saying, Machan, don't buy that, do buy this, don't do that. So anyone can influence the wants. No one can influence needs. And there is another difference, Buddha. Needs are simple and wants are complex. I hope you all remember. Our needs are simple. Students know, Pute. But if they ask the meaning, needs are simple means, Puta, anyone can understand. For example, I need food. But what type of food a person requires, the wants, is very complex to understand. I need a haircut. But what type of haircut is want? No, it's very complex to understand. No? Now my kids, I always say this example. My kid says, Sir, Dad, I need a toy. Need. But when I take him to the toy shop, he's unable to choose, then I can't understand exactly what he wants there, even though he needs a toy. That's how the difference. So you all should be able to know the difference between needs and wants. Goods and services also you should be able to say the differences. Goods are tangible. No, you compare this pen with what I am doing right now teaching, Buddha. So this pen is tangible. You can't touch my teaching. Intangible. You can see this pen. You can see me teaching, but you can't see the teaching. No. So invisible. And then guys, goods, I can use this later. Now I am teaching here. If you understand right now, it is for you. If you don't understand, guys, if you are present here, you consume the service. No, you are consuming the service. A student who is absent right now is not consuming the service. So that's what we say, guys. Okay, goods can be stored and used later. Services cannot be stored. And this pen is actually an Apple pencil. No, so it is separated with the producer. I am the owner. It is separated with the producer. But service, my teaching, you can't separate from me, cannot separate from the producer. If you buy any Apple pencil, it is the same thing, Puta. Now I am teaching you business studies right now. On a different day, I might use a different example, different method. So the same service cannot be produced again and again. So I just went through this very fast, Pute, even though I took some time here, because I, as a business study student, guys, okay, you should be first of all be able to define business and know the concepts of this. Can I get a reply whether you all understood these things, Pute? You all understood? You all understood? Yeah. Yeah, so this is the first term paper I actually prepared. I wanted to have an exam, but as your school started, I don't like to use your class day for an exam. You all know that, no? I try to use a weekday. However, no problem with it. Yeah, I have plenty of papers I had prepared. So let's see, guys. We will answer it together. So it will be fun, right? Okay. So can anyone say what would be the answer for the first one, guys? Based on what I explained here. So we are like right now answering the first question, which is from what, Pute? Which is from your first term, first chapter, and the basic definition of business, right? What is the answer, guys? You all can see me the answer here. Below are some characteristics of human needs and wants. So they have given and they are saying among them what are the characteristics of wants, guys. Okay, so what comes under wants? Wants are unlimited, yes. Wants are unable to create, no, you can create, so it won't be an answer. Now wait, yes, very good, most of you all are answering it correctly, Buddha. It's a very simple question. However, Buddha, you should understand a thing. You don't want to read the entire answer options to approach an answer. Now look, I am pretty sure A is an answer, B is not an answer, no. So therefore, I'm going to take out answers which has B. Look, it gives me the option first, the fifth one and the fourth one, guys. So look, so the fifth one has C and E, fourth one has C and E. And A is sure an answer means, look, I never read the remaining things, Putha. My answer is number 5. Is it clear or no, guys? Is that clear? Right. No, very simple. You can answer this in very simple terms. Right. Okay. Right. So, let me test you now the fill in the blank question regarding needs and wants. Right. Okay. Right. Let's see, guys. Okay. The foundation of business is, you all know question number 31 to 40. There's fill in the blank. Let's see who can say me the answer. The foundation of business is, Putha. What is the foundation of the business? You, this 31 to 40, Buddha, you have to select the most suitable word, Buddha. Right? You have to select the most suitable word. Anyone? So I said, no, the basics of business is what you know. Without this, there is no business. So you all, most of you all said it's economic activity. But remember, I said you all, without this means, if there is no need or want, just think, guys. I'll say a small story. Tomorrow you are waking up with us. Suddenly, when you after you woke up, guys, you God has given you entire business studies, accounting, or ICT or economics, full theory knowledge into your head, guys. Would you go for a class? Would you go for a class, guys? When you wake up, suddenly God has given you the entire knowledge regarding. So you don't go for a class, guys. So why you depend on someone, because you can't fulfill your needs or wants alone. Now normally at our place, if there is like my wife is like making dinner means, I will not go and approach a hotel, no. So we'll say she has not made the dinner. So I have to go and depend on a business to fulfill my need or want. That's why, Pute, foundation of a business is what, Pute? Needs and wants of a business. Can anyone remember the B part also? I just taught, even I taught you all today. I'm not just writing answers here, I explained. Matakaida, Buddha? The two main function of a business is what? A business should do this too, Buddha. Obviously, they have to fulfill. Without this, they are not business. No, what is it? Fulfill human or needs and wants. Okay, sorry, I can't. The word resources is here, no. So what is it, guys? Okay, what is it? Business is adding value to resources and what, put it, and fulfilling human needs and wants, right? Okay, so they might test you in these goods and services, needs and wants, as well as, guys, the main two function. So let me go on to this B part, Pute. Let's see who can answer. Actually, this is from a provincial paper question. And also past paper has the same thing. Look at this B part. Based on physical existence, computer is an example of a blank code, and a computer software is an example for a blank code. What is it, guys? You have to think. This 31 to 50 is the Anubuddha. 31 to 40. 41 to 50 is fill in right for, state for. 31 to 40 only students scratch their heads. Why? You have to fill using the most suitable word, Pute. Anyone? Ah, very good, Yazi. Very good, Puta. Very good, very good. Okay, I have done this in your first theory, this one also, right? Okay, so yes, example for a now I'll think like a student here. The first one is computer is a good, computer software is a service. Now they are like, yes. Now computer is a good, computer software is a service, but the fill in the blank says it's a good, it's a good. I think there is a problem in the question. Students do that way wise, but this is actually a past paper also had the same question. So you know, when we write the difference between goods and services, the first thing we write is what, Bhute? Tangible and intangible. So this is a tangible good, and this is what, Bhute? Intangible. I know it's not okay to use the word good here, but this was a question that was normally tested from students, right? Okay, so intangible. So actually this is a good and this is a service, but now we have to use suitable words. No, so it's a tangible thing, this is an intangible thing, right? Okay, right. So the most proper term for the good is what, you know, they should have mentioned the word product, right? Okay, right, Puta. So now I hope you all okay with that, right? Okay, so you all okay with that. Now let me go into the other important areas of this chapter number 1, right? Okay, so based on the questions I had given, guys, you also should be knowing what, you know, in this you should know, Buddha, they will normally test you in this. What is it? Characteristics of a business. You should know the characteristics of a business. You should know the objectives, no, or what are the aims of a business. Aims of a business. So as a student, they will, as a student, guys, you need to have this knowledge in order to face the exam, guys. So when it comes to characteristics of a business, right, is this method okay, or you want me to just discuss the entire paper, guys? I just want to do until 10:30. Is this method, you feel this method is fine, or you want me to discuss the end, because it's for you guys. I want to fulfill your need or want to, guys. So I am a business who is trying to fulfill. This method is okay, or you want me to just discuss the entire paper? That is, I don't think it is like effective for everyone. This you learn. Now look, you will never forget the definition of business. No, business is, Usman sir said, it is fulfilling needs and wants. But it is not enough. To fulfill needs and wants, you should provide goods and services. Goods and services, is it magic? No, we should produce, we should exchange. That is economic activity. Why we call economic activity? Because the resources are scarce. So another name for scarce resource is economic resource, guys. Right. Why people do business? Because they have a motive. Now, why I teach? I want to earn. Some people say, I teach not for earning, I teach because I want to see students educated. Borut kirone, guys, okay, right? Likewise. So now let's see with the characteristic of business. So if you are a student, Budhe, normally students memorize this. I know students, right? Look, the way they characteristic of business, an exchange or selling would take place, a transaction would take place, continuous transaction would take. Yes, you memorize, but rather than memorizing Buddha, you try to understand like this. I am teaching Buddha. Look, everyone answer. I am teaching, right? Am I involved in a business, guys? I am teaching. Am I involved in a business? Am I involved in a business? Yes. I am selling my phone, Pute. Am I involved in a business? I am selling my phone. Am I involved in a business? Very good. Very good. Some are saying no, but some said yes. Like, that means you all remember the stuff. So I'm really, really happy with that. So any business should fulfill needs and but you start thinking like this. Any business should fulfill needs and wants. No, therefore there should be an exchange, or there should be what? Selling of goods and services should take place. Is it clear? An exchange or selling should take place. However, that exchange or selling should be, now look, some students know the note Pute, but they don't understand what it is. Just an exchange will not help with that exchange should be able to be measured in monetary terms. That means 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 500 rupees. There should be what Pute? We call it as a transaction. If there is a transaction, Pute, this is business studies. If there is a transaction, it is a proof of an exchange. Do you all agree or no? If a transaction takes place, Puta, it's a proof of an exchange. Do you all agree? That's the actual meaning of that. Transaction means any exchange of resources between two or more parties which has a monetary value. Buddha. Exchange means just exchange. It could be any exchange, but it should be a transaction. And now look, I am selling this phone. Why isn't it a business, you know? There is an exchange, there is a transaction, but I am not involved in selling phones continuously. No, that's why it is not a business, Buddha. I am selling my house. I'm just selling my house as a consumer to another consumer. That's why it is not considered as business. I am teaching, I do it continuously. That's what Pute. The third feature is what you know. Continuous transaction takes place. Continuous transaction takes place, right? That's how the first three features is created there. And other than that, other than that, you all know that exchange or selling would take place, transaction would take place, continuous transaction would take place. So other than that, what you can say is what you know. You all can say, obviously, guys, involves in an what activity? Economic activity, and every business would face what Pute? Every no, you know, business can say we don't have this. Any sort of risk is faced by any business. It could be like the employees on strike, it could be raw material shortage, it could be government taxes, government rules, electricity failure, fuel shortages. It could be anything that is hindering your business activity. We call it as risk. Competition could be there. So anything, right? Okay. And business would create what, Pute? You all know that they would create wants. That's a character. A business always would create wants, Puta. That's another characteristic of a business, right? Okay. So and also business involving economic activity, it sure has a motive. So this is enough to understand what is this characteristic of a business, right? Okay. Again, close your eyes and think about the characteristic, guys. Okay. There is something buying, selling is there. Then sir said a selling, to confirm there should be a transaction. Other just transaction will not work out. There should be continuous transaction, and then they should involve in production or exchange or distribution. They should involve in economic activity, and every business will face a risk. Every business would create a want. Every business has some motive. So when it comes to motive, Putta, here, now let's see what are the types of motive this business have, right? Okay, here the motives. So why people normally do business, Putta? If you ask from 100 people, in that, Putta, 100 people, 99 will say I want to make money. So that's why profit maximizing is one of the main objective, guys. And also, in order to maximize your profit, you should be able to maximize your sale. But let me say, to maximize profit and sales, you have to make sure your customer is happy, customer satisfaction. So if you ask from me, sir, what are the main two objectives, I will say customer should be happy, I should make money. Students should be happy, I should make money. So if students are happy, sales would be maximized. Again, guys, okay, I can say I will now, for example, if I say in Candy, like I in my class there are students, many students, so I can say I need to increase the market share. What is market share? If you take dialogue users and Airtel user, Hutch users, say me, guys, there are more dialogue users or Hutch users, guys. You all say me. More dialogue. Yeah, so dialogue has a high market share. I said you all know dialogue has acquired what, Pute? Dialogue has acquired Airtel, and now they are going to acquire what, Hutch also. So dialogue is trying to, like, guys, create a monopoly there, no? Because Starlink has come. So likewise, one object is increasing the market share, guys. Next one, guys, okay, you all know even providing social, not one of the main objective, but still providing social welfare service, being the product leader means like they are the number one, being number one. Now for example, when I say the furniture, which organization comes to your mind, guys? Before you type, I'll say it's Dumbro. Is it clear? When I say furniture, obviously what? Dumbro. If I say electronics, obviously Abans or like Singer would come to your head, or Dumbro, sorry, what guys, yes, even Dumbro has this one, guys. Okay, what electronics. So likewise, so being the product leader, so a business can have not one objective, at least there should be one objectives, but the business can have more than one objective. Understood this part, guys? Okay, I had taught you all in theory, this just a small recap. You all understood this part, guys? Objectives means why a business conducts its activities, right? Characteristics means what features you can see in a business, right? Based on this, Buddha, like let me try to test you all here. We will see whether is there any question related to this given here. Yeah. So can you all see, guys? Okay, question number 44, and I'll give you all this paper too, right? Okay, I'll give you all this paper too. I can share the PDF. So can you all see me, guys? Without now, if you have a paper and a pencil in your hand, right? Okay, without referring any of your notes, write down those four answers, guys. Any four objectives of a business, write down four characteristics. Just now we discussed, guys. Write down. I hope you all working right, okay? Right? Rather than just discussing a paper, my intention is like you learn something of this, right? Okay, you remember the stuff, right? You would learn, right? That would be helpful. Right, so any four objectives, obviously, customer should be satisfied, profit should be maximized, sales should be maximized. Easy. Another one object is there. Some business with their objective is not to like grow or anything, like just to continue the business as it is. We call it as existence or survival. No, some business they don't want to grow and all. The object is like we should not fall out of the market. We should stay in the market. What do we call that? Survival or existence of the business, right? Is increasing market share is there. Another object, even guys, providing like employee like welfare, like contributing for the employees, even, yeah, market survival is what I said, right? Okay, that's only we call it as survival or existence. Write down four characteristics. Everyone saying what is the first feature of any business, guys? There should be what? I can't, if I am fulfilling my needs and wants, it is not business, no, guys. Actually, that concept is known as direct production. If I am producing for someone else, is only we call it as indirect production, right? So, yes, very good. Exchange. So, to confirm there is an exchange, what is the proof, guys? Okay, there should be a what? You think like that, you will never forget, guys. An exchange is confirmed using something. What is it, Vita? An exchange is confirmed using a, what is the word? Using, now a proof for exchange is what? A transaction. So a transaction would take place, and just one transaction takes place is not a business. So continuous transaction should take place. Look, we wrote 3 there, and then 41 to 50 question, they want us write 6, write 7. Obviously, always trust me, write 4, guys. That's why I have created a like similar what, guys, paper there. So what is it? Another one is what? involves what, guys? Okay, risk, or what, there is a profit motive, or you can write there is a motive, no problem. And then, guys, you can write involves an economic activity. Very simple, right? Okay, can I get a reply? You all okay with the characteristics as well as the objective as well as the definition as well as what is needs and wants, what are the economic activities, and also what is the difference between goods and services? Understood? Understood, guys? Right. Another area they would test in chapter number one is what, very simple. They will ask you about what, the evolution of business. No, how business evolve, evolution of business. Right. So you all know, guys, before even business. Now, business means what? What is the first characteristic of business? Same everyone. Everyone, eh? The first characteristics of business we studied is what? The first characteristic of business, everyone. If you reply, but I know you are interested in listening here, right? Okay, right? Because this, I said it's better if you can join, right? It's a free session, you all know, right? Okay, all right. So what is that, guys? What is the first characteristic of business? No, characteristics, Puta. Not function. Function tamai fulfilling human needs. So characteristics means, yes, there is an exchange. So someone typed here fulfilling. Yes, you exchange to fulfill someone's need or want only. Right? Now you all see here. Now you will understand. The first time there was an exchange, between people, before even money came, these people gave a good and received a good. You all know I'm talking about what system? I'm talking about what system, Uday? Barter, not Bata, no? Bata DS anyway. Barter system. They are okay, exchange. That's why the first stage of the business is exchange. First characteristic is exchange. First stage, exchange economy. We call barter system. However, Buddha, before barter system, in some schools they teach what, self-sufficient economy is the first step number one. There is nothing called self-sufficient economy as step number one. Before people started exchanging, what type of economy prevailed, the country, Buddha, right? Okay, before even people started exchanging, right? Before people started exchanging, the country was Sri Lanka. I can't draw, right? Country was, we call it as self sufficient. What do we call self-sufficient? People produce to fulfill their own needs and wants. They did not depend on others. They are, look, guys. Now, what is business? You totally depend on someone else to fulfill your need or want. You depend on classes to fulfill your education need. So there was a time period people were actually, guys, okay, they fulfill their own needs and wants. That means, guys, they went in hunting, fishing, farming, right? Okay. Now a student is saying they did direct production. Is direct production is equal to self-sufficient, Puta? Is it correct? Is direct production equal to self-sufficient? Correct or incorrect? These doubts come into students' mind, Buddha. Is self-sufficient known as direct production? Is self-sufficient known as direct production? Self-sufficient is not direct production. Self-sufficient was a time period where the entire economy was involved in direct production. With a today, 21st century, I am growing my own vegetable means this is not self-sufficient economy, but I am involved in direct production. So direct production is a concept where not during old days or during the latest time period, during any time period, if you produce to fulfill your means you and your family's needs and wants, you are involved in direct production. But self-sufficient economy was a time period where everyone in the economy were involved in fulfilling their own needs and wants. They were involved in direct production. That's why there was no business. That's why there was no exchange. Then what happened, Putta, during this self-sufficient economy, it resulted in what people being specialized. No, people being specialized. Why people were specialized, Pute? Because people were divided into various tasks, Pute. We call it as division of labor or division of work. For example, when you do the same thing again and again and again, just think, guys, you were a hunter during that self-sufficient economy. You were hunting, 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 hunting. You are specialized. So we call that, what is specialization? Your mistakes, like, okay, any errors or mistakes, the productivity is very high, mistakes are very low. So because you were specialized, Puta, it resulted in surplus production. The hunter hunted more animals than usual. It was more to fulfill his needs and wants. This surplus of production then was what, Pute? They did not have any idea what to do with this. They did not have refrigerators and all. Then they got an idea. What is the idea they got, Pute? They got an idea, one person idea. Let's give this surplus to one person and get what we don't have. That's how business started. Understood the story behind that, Pute? Understood story behind barter system? What was there? No? So don't say self-sufficient is step one. No, Buddha. Barter system only there was business. Before barter system, there was no business. So this is known as the first stage. Don't worry, I'm planning my time in explaining. I'll be quickly focusing on the main area, then second chapter main area, then third chapter. You have plenty, all know, right? If I ask you the objectives of consumer authority, I taught you all short methods. All the standards, don't memorize, I taught you all short methods. Sri Lanka standard institutions, what are the objectives, methods of implementing? I taught you all methods. Consumer authority, what are the functions? I taught you all methods. That means you are not supposed to memorize that and go, right? Sometimes you are good in memorizing, but when you do your A levels, when you are into 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 9, 10, 11 chapters, it's going to be a difficult to it's going to be difficult in memorizing all. Azan is going on, no? Yes. Right. I Right. Try the second question until Azan completes. Try the second question. Sir, repetition is important to study, right? No, it's not memorizing. You when you repeat a certain thing again and again, and if you try to understand the concept, now if you memorize, you don't know the meaning. You just memorize. So memorizing without meaning will not help you in paper writing. If you memorize and you also know the meaning, means I'm saying you don't want to memorize because you understood, right? Okay, right. So here, very good answer is Buddha. The answer is first one or second one or third or fourth or fifth. Is it second one? Yes, because you all know that where did trade take place? What is trade? Trade means buying, selling. You know what was the first stage of business? Barter system. In barter system only, what happened? Trade was arose. So you all know that 1 and C, there are two answers. Then you all know that the second stage in business is actually what? When people exchange goods to goods, they were not happy. Why? Sometimes you start rejecting what you have. You all know a concept called Puta, problem of dual coincidence of bonds. No, no. You all know that concept. No, problem of dual coincidence of bonds. So let me complete this part for you all. In barter system was a failure, Buddha. Why barter system was a failure? Because there were many, we call it as drawbacks. What is drawbacks? Disadvantages. In that, the first drawback in barter system, what I know that most of you all know dual coincidence of wants. But why do we call it as coincidence of wants? The coincidence of where two people's wants matched did not happen. For example, I am walking with, we'll say, Pute, my phone. You are walking with a laptop. So suddenly we meet in the road and I'm saying, wow, I want your laptop. I was searching for that. And you are saying, I was searching for such a phone. Let's exchange. That will not take place, no, guys. The coincidence of wants matching did not take place. Sometimes I want what you have. You don't want what I have. You want what he has. But he doesn't want what you have. He wants what I have. Is it clear? That's the reality. So then people said, make a set pen night. This make a Haryana. This is not going to work place. So let's bring something where people will not reject Puta. Now, if you want to take something in return, you should give something where he won't reject. What is that? If you want to study, I can teach you, but you should give me something that I won't reject. What is it, guys? Exactly. What is it? What is it? That's why stage 2 is what with the people brought something that will not be rejected. We call it as the monetary system. No? That's why number 2 was monetary, but because of the problems in barter system. So barter system had problems like dual coincidence of wants were there. People, what guys? Okay, there was problem in taking the goods from one place to another place. We call it as portability problem. Next one, there was problem in the measuring, guys. Okay, that means handful of rice and handful of gold is not same, no. So portability problem is carrying. Again, we had problems in measurability problem, right? And next one, dividing divisibility problem, right? Okay, so sometimes guys you can't store certain goods. You can't keep tomato as money, no, guys. Okay, you can't keep for 3-4 weeks, no, guys. So we had lot of problems in barter system. Barter system actually had only one advantage. You were able to consume something that you don't produce. Other than that, there was no advantage. Then Puta, monetary system came into this one. Now don't think when monetary system came means we had this 10 rupee, 20 rupee. Money, if anyone asks from you all what is money, chapter 7 you learn about money, Pute. But in chapter number 1, what is money defined? Don't say notes and coins or rupees. Money is anything that is commonly accepted as a medium of exchange. No, in Sri Lanka, first of all, what was money? Everyone ate rice, Pute. Even not only Sri Lanka, even in Japan, Pute, what was the first money? It was rice, Puta. Then people rice, some essential goods, scarce goods. Then came the king's period, gold coin, silver coin. Okay, after that came what, Pute, this banks came, so notes and coins came. Then this what e-money is into practice. Now it's not even e-money, it's like virtual currencies also there. So money has a separate evolution, but you learn that in chapter number 7. Okay. So after monetary system, Uda, look, I'm actually explaining here the theory perfectly, right? I wanted to discuss the paper, but I normally teach what you like to hear or what you want to learn. So you need explanation means this is the one, right? So after monetary system, guys, okay, there was something big during this 17th, 18th century. You all know what is it? There was mechanics or mechanical or factories came into practice. We call it as there was a big revolution, no, industrial. This brought up various changes to business. No, new goods came. What guys? No, technology was used in producing the good instead of manual method. People were able to involve in various types of business. There were various changes, right? And finally, guys, okay, and after that, we are right now in a what period we call knowledge economy or information era. So with machines, internet connected, and now we are into what, Pute? Information era. So this is known as the evolution of business, barter system, monetary system, industrial revolution, and information era. Can I get a reply? You understood everything that was taught here? Understood? Right. Let's see who can answer question number 4, Puta. Question number 4. Try to answer, guys. You have to say the order now. Divisibility means you are able now. I can't now. There's a doubt. Okay. Divisibility means 1,000 rupees could be divided into 10 parts as 100, 100, 100, 100. It could be divided into like 100 parts as 10, 10, 10, 10. 1,000 parts as 1, 1, 1. You can divide money, no. But good, we will take a good cannot be divided easily, no. It's not there. Now you take a living livestock like an animal. You can't divide that, no, easily. You have to kill that animal to divide, no. Likewise. So I am like getting answers as answer number 3, Puda. What about others? Others? Right. So they are saying the answer which contains the correct order of gradual development of business is. So first thing was what is first self-sufficient or barter system, guys, in business? Semi. First one is self-sufficient or barter system. It's barter system. Very good. So find out. It is not common medium. So do you all agree? This is Avila number 2, ne? Monetary system. Needs are fulfilled by exchange goods for goods. So C and D. Look, C D C D. So these are not the answers. Do you all agree? That's how you have to approach an MCQs. Then, guys, is it like A or B, the third one? Small industries were converted to large scale. This is only we call industrial revolution. So third one should be A, means answer is number 3. Is it clear or not, guys? Is that clear? And then in fill in the blanks, Puta, in fill in the blanks, let me check whether you have a question. I think yes. Question number 43, guys. State for drawbacks of a barter system. Now, I just said what are the problems in barter system. The first problem was what, guys? The problem of dual coincidence of wants. Wants between, if you don't remember the terms, guys, right? The wants between people did not match. That's the dual problem of dual coincidence of wants. Then you can write divisibility problem, portability problem, measurability problem, storage problem was there. Understood or no, guys? So you all okay with that concept also, right? I'm literally going with the entire thing. Though even though I say focusing on the main area, I'm going with the entire stuff there. Right. Now let me discuss, guys. A business now we just started chapter number 4 for 2 groups, no, I think the Mathale group and the Canby second group, chapter 4. Now chapter 5 is done by with group number 1. You all know the chapter number 4 is various business organization. However, the same business, you all know very well, Putha, the same business you can classify under 5 headings. Number one is based on, now I can classify myself under some headings. No, under gender I am a male, right? Then in my, according to religion I am a Muslim. No, or religion means Islam, right? According to, like, guys, okay, like, whether I studied, like, okay, whether nationality, guys, I am a Sri Lankan, right? Okay, so whether I belong to, like, okay, which income level, I can say whether I am, like, coming under poor category, or we can call it as like middle income category or upper income category. So a business could be classified, the same business could be classified under ownership, under motive, based on scale, based on the nature of production, and based on economic sectors. So everyone, how many methods we can classify a business? We can classify a business, or we can put one business under 5 different headings. So you all know that ownership means we have the private sector and the government sector. Motive means we have profit motive and we have non-profit motive. Scale means we have small medium business. We don't say small medium large separately. Small medium business, and then we have large scale business. Nature of production, I hope you all remember I taught you all take, make, give. If you are extracting from the natural environment, we call it is you are involved in primary production. If you are taking the resource, or if you are, the word is not taking, no, extracting from natural environment, we call it as primary, Buddha. If you use that resource and if you involve in producing something, we call secondary. And if you are involved in selling or a service, we call it as tertiary. So it's like first stage, second stage, and third stage. Sectors, Buddha, same thing. Primary is very simple to, what is it? Agricultural sector. Agricultural sector. Then we have industrial sector, and then we have service sector. So can you all understand, guys? Okay, a business could be classified under 5 headings. Can I reply? No, a business could be classified under 5 can. Now if I take food city, guys, if I take food city, let me take food city here, or a supermarket, Keel supermarket or food city. Under ownership, it is private. You all answer, guys. Under motive, food city falls under what? Profit or non-profit? Under motive, food city falls under what? Profit or non-profit? Profit. Under scale, what do you think, guys? Now you will learn in chapter number 6, small medium business. Right now, using knowledge, yes, we can say it's large scale business. Nature of production, is food city extracting anything from the resources, from the environment? Who would extract? Farmers, fishermen. No. Food city is what? They involve in selling. No. So what is it, Pute? They don't involve in producing. It's not secondary. They don't involve in extracting. It's not primary. Listen, take, make, sell. Take means extracting, primary. Make means secondary. Sell means tertiary. Sectors, Putha, again, service sector. However, I had taught you all this very well. Agriculture is normally like primary, industrial is secondary, and service is what, Pute? Tertiary. But there is slight differences. It's almost same. How many types of businesses are there in Sri Lanka according to Central Bank report, Putha? Let's see. I gave you all in my theory class also. How many types of businesses are there in Sri Lanka? Anyone? In your theory notes, it's there. Here, look, I'll just show you all. This is a theory note, no? Tute? Here. Right. Can you all see the screen? Buddha, can you all see the screen, Buddha? Everyone? Yes. Under agriculture, Buddha, under agriculture sector, this is not my note, this is Central Bank report. we have 17 businesses. No? Under industrial, another 17, altogether 49, remember? And then we have another 15 comes under service sector business. So let me say, what is the difference between agriculture and primary, Buddha? Only very one difference is there here, guys. Okay, so you all know that mining and quarrying, you know what is mining, no guys? You mine natural, you mine resource, gem mining, no? Right? Mining, you take sand mining. Quarrying means what, you know? You all know quarry means now you all know this, what huge rocks are blasted, and I mean they keep these what explosives, and then they what blast the huge rocks and they make the small metal stones and all there, guys. That is only we call it as quarry. According to according to nature of production, Buddha, according to nature of production, this falls under what, you know? This falls under primary. All this primary, and this is also primary. Look, agriculture, all agriculture 1 to 17 is primary. However, one industrial sector is in the primary. Likewise, what is secondary? You are involved in manufacturing. So secondary is like industrial sector, Buddha. Secondary is like industrial sector. However, the difference is what, you know, there is one thing in secondary, not actually one to here. Electricity, gas, these things are there, no guys, okay. Electricity, gas, steam, air condition supply, water collection, treatment. It comes under service sector. This comes under what, Buddha? This comes under, not service, tertiary sector. All these are tertiary. However, this also comes under tertiary. All these are primary. This comes under primary. That's why agriculture is not 100% equal to primary. Industrial is not 100% equal to like secondary, and service is not 100% equal to tertiary. Understood or no, guys? Okay. Understood, everyone? I have highlighted what is the difference between the classification. Can I get a reply from you all? Yes. So based on that, Buddha, based on that, the question, the remaining part of the question is here, no? Right. So based on that, I want you all to answer question number 3 here. Right. I want you all to answer question number 3 here. However, the questions, the other part is here. So let me. Yes, I'm able to do this. Don't worry. Right. I can show you the answer options here. So now you all can say me the answer. Right, Buddha? Say me what is the answer. Question number 3. Which belongs to industrial sector? Answer, guys. Take your time, no problem. Which belongs to industrial sector? Industrial. Milk, eggs, meats, it's agriculture and forestry. No? It won't come. Here? Here? Animal production, plant production, here? These things comes under agriculture. So it won't come, right? So B will not be an answer. Out and out. So if anyone is saying 5 or 4 is the answer, that's wrong. So now let's see, guys, what would be the answer here. Mining and quarrying would come. A should be an answer. So this is out. This can be an answer. So both have C. So A is there, C is there, A is there, C is there. Whether it is D or E, guys, communication will not come because it is service sector. So E is out. So what is the answer, guys? Third one is the answer. Understood or no, guys? That's how you have to approach, guys. Just you don't do tuck tick took, right? So now you are confirmed the answer is number 3. Is that clear, everyone? See, when I explained you all the classification of business part there too. Is that clear? Right. All right. Right, brother. So in chapter number 1, background of business, there are many, in background business, you should know. I'll just write another one important part under background business. You should be knowing the what is the production, the process. No, you all know production process. We have what? Input is there, process is there, and then what? We have output. So inputs are also known as what, Putta? Inputs are also known as factors of production. No, we have what? Natural resource known as. So what is GDP? GDP means, is a doubt. GDP means gross domestic production. That means how much of goods and services a country produces within the country. That is what we call it as GDP, right? Okay, GDP means gross domestic production, which means how much of goods and services does a country produce, right? Okay, so can you all name me the factors of production? Natural resource is known as land, human effort is known as labor, and then man-made resources, capital. Group 1 students know we just started entrepreneurship, which is a new chapter. It's a factor we just started last class. No, entrepreneurship. This is the process how the own, actually the investor, the person who starts the business by identifying business opportunity, how he manages the business, how he controls the business, right? Entrepreneurship. Then we need the intelligence of employees, knowledge, and then we need internal and external what, Pute? Information, and then we need time. We call it as factors of production. Simply, these are the inputs used in producing a good or service. So what comes under this process? The different activities done by the business to produce the relevant output, guys. Now, when I say different activities, Puta, in O level you learn like this. In O level you would be learning uh, plucking the mango, no, washing the mango, cutting the mango, peeling the mango, cutting the mango, blending the mango, then guys adding sugar, and that is. But in here, what comes under the process, very simply, this is your grade 13 chapters. So what are the different departments in an organization? Putta, we have operations, which involves in manufacturing. We have marketing, which involves in what, Pute? Which involves in like actually promoting the good, pricing the good, distributing the good. Then also managing the money of the business. We have what department? Financing activities. Also, guys, people are working in the business. We should motivate them. We should pay them salary. Then we have human resource activities. Other than that, we have administration activities, we have research and development activities. These are known as functions of business, or we call it as the activities involved in the process are known as the business functions. However, don't forget the main two functions are fulfilling needs and wants and adding value to resource. Output is known as, Puta, product. This is the proper term. Any output is known as product. But as business studies students in grade 12 first term, you all know goods, services. But these are the main two products, Pute. Other than goods and services, there are various other products. For example, I will say, guys, now we are a film theater. A film theater is not providing a good or service, Puta. They are organizing an event, no? Then guys, a workshop, right? Okay, they are organizing experience. Next one, a school. A school means their product is educated students, people. So architecture, he provides idea. So what you want to understand? Other than goods and services, there are other things that would fulfill needs and wants. A carnival is an event, but you will learn about this in marketing management chapter. Right now, what is product for you all? Main is goods and services. So you should know the production process. Understood or no, guys? Can I reply, Pita? If you are really interested and focused, you will understand. I know what I'm teaching you. I'm not reading something or I'm not looking at something. All what I know, I'm going just feeding into your head, guys. Easily you will remember this as a story, guys. Understood, Pudha, up to now? Even you understood the production process, what comes under process, right? What comes under, I will give the, I'll put in that group the PDF. Don't worry, right? Right, I'll put the PDF, right? Right? Right. So saying that, Pute, saying that in chapter number 1, so these are the main areas you should know in chapter number. Other than this, we have trends of business is there. No, you should know like what is meant by e-business. Right. I'll say one important area students should be knowing, Putha, one important area you should be knowing for your exam is the relationship between these terms. Udara balaganda, concentrate. What is business? What is commerce? What is trade? What is auxiliary services? What is industries? First of all, Buddha, trade is what? You all know exchange. Trade started from which system, Buddha? Where did trade start? Say me, Balam. Who can answer my question? Where did trade start? Yeah, trade arose from barter system. Very good, Buddha. So you know, trade started there. But when it comes to classification, this is going to be your chapter number 11, Pute. Chapter 11 is trade. So what do you learn under trade, you know? Within Sri Lanka, if you do, what do we call that trade? We call it as domestic trade. If you do trade between with other countries means we call it as foreign trade or we call international trade. Domestic trade, you all know there are many, but mainly if you take, we have two types of trade, retail trade and what, Pudha? Wholesale trade. Foreign trade also you learn in chapter 11. We have bilateral trade, multilateral trade, import trade, export trade, entreport trade, re-export trade. But for a grade 12 first term student, foreign trade means you buy means import, you sell means export. Then what is commerce, you know? Commerce actually means if you are involving in trade with the help of auxiliary services. So what are auxiliary services, you know? Another word is we call it as supporting services. You might think, sir, what's a supporting? Another name is aid to trade. So everyone knows what is aid, no? First aid box, help. So what are the services we need to do trade, Puta? Now can I do teaching without phone? Can I do business without the help of the bank? Can I do business without storage? Now if I show you this, I'm in my office room. I have a separate rack here keeping all those workbooks and all those tudes and all I have stocked and kept, Puta. So to do business, Pute, we need some help. I'll teach you in very simple way. This is your chapter number 7, 8, 9, 10. What is 7, 8, 9, 10? It is banking. What is chapter number 8? Insurance. What is chapter number 9? Communication. What is chapter number 10? Logistics. Logistics means we have transport and we have warehouse. So this is only we call it as commerce, Puta. Then you might think, sir, what is business? What is commerce? Commerce is only 1/3 of business. The remaining two-third is what, Pute? Industries. Because why? Because industries means we have, other than this trade and service, we have extractive industry, and we have manufacturing industry. Wait, I'll make it simple. We have primary, we have secondary. So what is another name for commerce, Pute? Tertiary. Is that clear or no? Remember we studied we can classify a business under how many headings, everyone? We can classify a business under how many headings? 5. Nature of production, primary, secondary, tertiary. So a business, the business in Sri Lanka could fall under primary, secondary, tertiary. No, that is only this flow chart. Putha. Here look, a business could be primary, secondary, so tertiary. So what is the thing you learn? Another name for tertiary is what? Commerce. What comes under commerce? Trade is also a service. Auxiliary services are indirect services. Understood or no, guys? Okay. Understood this? I know it's difficult to put everything in your head, but I'm pretty sure I explained all of this for you all. And this is just a small recap for your exam, right? Especially your school exam stuff. Right. Okay. So in the paper I had given Budhe, I am mainly talking about what there are like around multiple questions related to this business environment. So then I'll move on to the questions here. Business environment. So what comes under business environment, guys? Okay. Actually, what is environment? This is the environment which includes people of conditions. We call forces or conditions, right? Which would influence the business. Now, guys, even right now you are at your place. Whether you can focus on the class or no, it is you are the number one person who can what, guys? Control. You can control yourself, but you can't control what takes place surrounding you, guys. Suddenly now you say you are focused on the class, there is someone entering into the a guest is coming to your place, guys, and you are right in the hall focusing on the class. Suddenly you might think I have to leave the class because of that, I can't do that. So likewise, anything that would influence the business is known as the business environment. So the business environment includes forces and factors that would influence the business. Influence means what would they? Influence means it could be good, it could be bad, positive influence and negative influence. So when we take the basic classification, we have the internal environment and we have the external. Now look, at my place, Pute, my house is internal. I can control my kids here. But once they go to the school or they go and meet their friends, it is not in a controllable environment. We can't control what takes place there. Likewise, within a business, internal environment, very simple. What comes under internal? The person who provides resources, owner, the person who make decisions, the manager, people who follow the instruction of the owner and the manager, employee. Then whatever the resources the organization have. Now take your school, the table, chair could be controlled. So what is control? Could be changed. The business can influence that. The business can make decisions on that resources. And we have something called organization structure. As time is not enough, I'll quickly explain. Organization structure means what, Pute? How the decisions are made in the business, how the resources are allocated in the business. For example, in your school, Buddha, like they will, sorry, in structure means in your school, principal is there. Above principal, will security be there, Buddha? Will security be above principal? Innodehema. Will the security be above principal? Obviously, no, right? Okay. Likewise, Pute, right? We have the principal, vice principal, sectional head. Those things are known as organization structure. And then the behavior of the employees and the owner, we call it as organization culture. And these things are also what? Controllable, no. So this internal means we call it as what? Environment, controllable environment. Then with the external, look at this. Some students think we have to just know memorize this and go. No, if you know the meaning, it's easy. External, there are two things, Buddha. One is the immediate environment. One is immediate. That means partially controllable, but immediate means now if I say think about an outsider who is not in your family, whom would you think? Just you think about an outsider who is not in your family. Obviously, you will be thinking about one of your friend. Am I correct or no? You all agree? If I say think about an outsider who is not in your family, you will be thinking one of your friend. Am I correct, guys? Pute? That's why in immediate environment we have five people, Puta. The people who buy from us, Pute, here. That's why this is close environment, very close to the business, customers, specific groups. If you ask from me, so what is immediate environment? These are specific groups. Now for me, 2027 A level, 26 A level is customer. But 27, 26 A level are people, grade 1 people, grade 2 people, USA, a person who is homeless in USA, people, they all come under demographic environment. That's why macro environment is known as broad environment. It is not a specific group, it is very broad. It is not a specific group, it's very broad. So customer is there, people who sell like us, competitor is there, people who provide us the materials and goods, supply is there. Then Buddha, we have the business which produce similar goods and sell, producer of substitute goods is there, and you might be potential teachers in future, you might be business studies accounting lecturers after another 5 6 years, we don't know. Likewise, potential potential business means still not in the business but could be a similar business in future, right? Potential business. Macro environment, I total how to easily remember, plest ndg, plest ndg, political, legal, economical, social, technological, natural, demographical, global. Political, legal, I have explained one by one what is the difference. If you all have any doubts, please do ask. Right? So let me quickly say, Puta, why do we need to study the business environment? There will be a question in your exam. Why should a business study its environment? Not only business, even you, Puta, you should study your environment to identify what, Pute? What are the strength and weakness of internal environment, and to identify what are the opportunities and threats of external environment. So what is meant by strength? The good features of your internal environment. Manager is skilled, owner is financially stable, employees are experienced, resources are updated, structure is very simple, decision making structure, culture is good behavior. Strength. If anything is not good, Pute, owner is mad, manager is inexperienced, no decision making skill, employees are like not motivated, they are not trained enough, resources are outdated, structure is very difficult to understand the decision making, culture, the practices that is there is very bad. Weakness. Then from the outside environment, we can't have strength and weakness. From the outside environment, we get chances. Now, for example, one of my company passed away. So good for me, Our chances. More customers are in the more newborn babies, Puta. Then more customers. Even a newborn baby is a customer, no? You have to vaccinate them, you have to wear the diapers. Newborn baby is also customer. So what is it? Opportunities means whatever the favorable features in external environment, and anything of this external which is not favorable, we call it as threat. So we call this concept as SWOT analysis. What is analysis? Studying, Puta. So a business should study its environment to identify the strength and weakness of internal environment and opportunities and threats of external environment. Understood or no? I know I was a little bit fast, but if I go very slowly, I won't be able to complete. Understood or no, guys? Is that clear? Understood? As a student, you should be able to know whether it's a strength or weakness or opportunity or threat, and whether the sub variables For example, under legal environment, all the acts come pute. Under political environment, all the policies comes. Under economic environment, whatever that influence the production, exchange, consumption, economic activities. I know, Buddha, most of the students, they don't know the meaning. Trust me. But I taught in my class, economic environment, you will study normally what you know. Just go and check your school notes. Economic environment includes economic factors such as interest rate, inflation rate, price level. But you never know what is economic environment. Economic environment is the environment that would influence our economic activities, production, exchange, consumption. Look, price level increase, my consumption reduce. That's why price level is economic environment. Interest rate increase. People will not involve in business by taking loans. Interest rate is very high. It would influence the production of the country. Likewise, that's why guys you all know interest rate is there, savings rate, price level, inflation, GDP, employment. Why is the employment and all? If you get more and more jobs, put production will increase. What comes under social environment? You all know social environment means what you know, guys. Okay, the society's practices, behaviors, norms, attitudes, social environment, religion, social environment. Technological environment, you all know, right? It's all about technology. Natural means what? Natural means about resources, about climatic changes. Now in Noralia, you can do more sweater business. Why? The natural environment is located in such a way. Demographic environment is all about different types of people, Buddha. You can divide people based on their gender, income level, education level, and as well as guys, um, uh, age level likewise. And finally, the business in any country is not only influenced by the activities done in their country, the global environment will also impact what pute the business. So global environment, for example, if India and if Sri Lanka and India has an agreement in buying and selling goods, and even though Pakistan or some other country wants to sell, we might not be able to buy. We'll say we are under a global agreement, under a trade agreement. So whatever that external means what, global factors that would affect. Now your buying decision, selling decision is influenced through Instagram also, no? Influencer from another country, global environment, right, Pute? So based on that, right, based on that, I want you all to look, guys. You have now, we answered question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some of these answers there. Can you all answer me fifth one, sixth one, seventh one? I'll give you all time, quick, and eighth one, right? I'll show all. Look, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take your time, Buddha. 5, 6, 7, 8. Try to answer, guys. Right, guys, okay. I'm going to discuss, right? The table below shows some of the internal environment force of a business and the associated strength and weakness, right? Students, can you all hear me? Harini? Can hear, right? Any audio issue? No, no? Some can't stay for more than 2 3 hours, guys. That's what they are leaving, right? I'm recording that in now, guys. I have the meeting all. If you are just absent, I'm not going to provide. But I said I'll provide during the class. I'll check with the availability and only give, right? Right, okay. Yeah, I'll provide only, yeah. I know that some of you all have exams tomorrow. Hemanda, isko wala econ exam the hater. Is it? Students, you all have any exams tomorrow at school? That's what, no? Right, okay. You all have that's all. Okay, no worries. I won't drag it much, but I'll just talk about that important. Look, their business exam is also there, right? So it's going to be helpful, no, right? Hari, right? Okay. So I'll see. It's like you're revising the for the exam with me, right? So table below shows some of the internal force of the business. So I said no. Internal means very simple. Owner, manager, employee. What we have resource, what we do, culture, how we make decision structure. Now look, they have given here. So guys, in this they are saying they have given the internal environment and the associated strength and weakness. The correct answer when environmental forces are aspects are matched put up. So owner guys, what is it here? So here it should be not sectors, it's for strength and weakness. So here for owner, what is given? How can you how can you decide with that, guys? It's not going to be like very simple to go with an answer. So you all know here, when it comes to owner, the best one is owner should be financially strength, guys. No, owner's financial strength is important, guys. If not, you can't do the business. So if you don't get that answer, if you, I'll think like student, guys. So I will think about like, okay, employees should be what, Pute? Motivated. If now even students, Puta, if you are motivated you will learn, Puta. But I am a person who doesn't believe in motivation. Even look, another status was shared by my coordinator. No, it's all about discipline, you all know, right? Okay, what is discipline? You know it's difficult, you don't like to do it, but you have to do it because you have some objective to achieve. That's all. So 2E and 1C, is there an answer? Yes, no, there are two answers here, 1C, 2E, 1C, 2E. So third one, so organization, culture, structure, manager. So what comes on here, look guys, organization, culture, structure. Culture, I can say evaluation and value system. How do you value, guys? Okay, right? We can say structure, how the activities are divided. No, sorry, manager. Yes, manager, decision making ability, structure, how it is divided. So the answer is going to be third one. Do you all agree with me, guys? Okay, third one is the answer. It would take time. Now look guys, accounting calculation 50 questions 2 hours, business studies theory 50 question 2 hours. You might think, why for that also 2 hours? Certain questions it's not directly answerable. You have to make sure you read it again, think, reduce what, eliminate some answers, confirm with some answers, then compare, go for the best one. You won't make a mistake. Don't do tactic to in your exam. Impacts of some factors on school environment are given below. Select the answer. Strengths of internal. Guys, good features of school. Say me. Won't come. Negative attitude. So, first one out, fourth one out. Adequate classroom. Yes, B will come. All has B. No accountability of teachers for their responsibility. No accountability. They should be accountable. So, C will not come means, is it B, E, and G? Yes, B, E, and G. Answer is number two, not two, three. D is also there. No, 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 no. Two only. D is Puta. Good result of nearest school is actually it's a threat. No, it's a threat. It's bad. So not the third one. Answer is number two. No, B E N G. That means good features of your school. Now, if I go with answer third one, B D E. D is what? Good result of students but nearby school. That means what, Bhuti? That is a threat for the current school. So answer is number two. What comes under social and cultural environment, Buddha? Beliefs, values, customs, correct, correct, correct. Regulation is legal environment. Beliefs, regulation means we'll say rules and regulation. Whatever the government brings, regulations, right? Okay. Customs, tradition, I can go with second answer. Age structure, demographic environment, technological environment, organized structure is internal. So answer is number two. Can I get a reply? You all understand what we discuss? Right? Okay. Here, guys, okay, I even taught you all how to answer this, guys. When it comes to legal means, it's about what Sri Lanka law nabuta. So it should be an act. Right, act. There, guys. Political environment about a policy. Yeah, adoption of open economic policy. Demographic environment means people. Yeah, population. Then something related to not Sri Lanka, outside global environment. This. So it's going to be 1C. The first one is C. Second one is D. CDBA. 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 First one is the answer. So we discussed those questions. Right, Buddhi? Answer question number 9 also. And I'm going to make you answer question number 9 to 13. It's okay, 9 to, okay, 9 and 10. 10 Putta from chapter number 1, the area of studying is stakeholder. I'll just say you, stakeholders refers to the people or parties who are interested in a business. Interested doesn't mean good Putta. Your neighbor house aunt is interested in what you do, stakeholder. Your parents are interested in you, stakeholder. I am interested in you, whether you are studying or no, whether you're following the class properly, stakeholder. Right? So answer question number 9 and 10. Question number 9, 10. Right, Buddha. If you need to leave because tomorrow is the exam day, I can understand. No worries. I will arrange the recording in your relevant group, right? Okay. If tomorrow is business exam, you stay. No, tomorrow is economy. Okay. If you have any, you have to study. No, just go through that. No problem, Buddha. Right? I'll provide in the relevant group. People who are having business exam, this is your day. Come on, I'm revising, right? Huh? Right. Question number 9. Several macro environment forces are mentioned in column X and related example in Y, guys. Okay, look. So, what are the external environment? Plus 10 DG. Political, legal, economical, social, technological, natural, demographical, global. What comes under immediate environment? 5 people who buys from us, customer, who sell to us, supplier, who would sell like us, competitor, who would sell similar goods, producer of substitute goods, who would sell like us in the future, potential businessman. What comes on internal? The 3 people, owner, manager, employee, then other organization, 3 stuff. What we have, resource, how we make decision structure, and how do we follow what we value is organization culture. The practices within the organization, the behaviors, the traditions within the business is organization culture. Here they are asking the macro factors. Go for the easiest one, Buddha. Uh, the service provided by the internet are growing means obviously technological environment. So as a student, you will find out answers which has 3A. Have. So if you are thinking answer is 2 or 3 means you just did not use the shortest technique in answering the MCQ. So if I compare now, guys, okay, legal environment means about what with the Sri Lankan law. Find is there any law here with the yes. Consumer Affairs Authority Act. So 1D Puta. So now look, I have only 1D, two answers. So 1D, both the answers is 2 is C Puta. So 1D, 2C, right. 4B or 5B. Global environment, countries of the world. Now say me guys, countries of the world means which environment? 4 only B. So 4B means fourth one is the answer. Understood the way I answered the question, Budhe? You all understood, Buddha, the way we answered the question? Yes. Now, question number 10 here, the stakeholder concept in chapter number 1, right? Okay. So, you have to match, no? So, I hope you all understood. No. Here, the business environment is connected. You all understood how to answer this question? Select the answer which correctly matches the stakeholder, relevant environment for the stakeholder, and reason. Owner, internal, reason for the interest for the owner is this. So here look guys, blue and blue. No, 1CB, 1CB, correct. These are not correct. So 2AA or 2AC, customer 2AA. Answer is first one. Did you all understand that, guys? Understood? Question number 11. Following are some of the threats faced by business organization. So they are asking immediate environment. So what comes in immediate environment? Customer, supplier, competitor, producer of substitute goods, potential businessman. So let's see. Technological invention. No, it is macro environment. A answer will not be an answer. Abundance of substitutes in the market. Producer of substitute goods. So B is an answer. We have B in this. So this is not going to be the answer. Raising import duties, import tax, government tax will not come. So C will not be, this is also out. So F is sure an answer because both has F. Potential investors. E or G Puta? E or G? E is skilled workers. Employees will not come Pute. So answer is G. First one is the answer. Did you all understand the way to answer Pute? Right. Right. Let us move for this internal, this one, Pute. Right. Can you all answer 33? There is a small mistake here. There is more questions. Right. It's okay. Let's answer this and this, Puta. 33, this two question, whatever I have ticked, Puta. You all answer. Right, shall we discuss, guys? The internal party which is needed for the beginning and the existence of business is called, guys, we need internal, we need them to continue the business as well as what, guys, okay, to start the business. It is obviously who, guys? We need owner. External party, without them, our business will be a failure, Puta. Who is it? We call it as the customer. In the business process of a bakery, the land on which bakery is located belongs to what, Pute? Land, and the bakery building belongs to what, Pute? We call it total factors of production, capital. A business should analyze its blank to identify blank and weakness. Should analyze its what, Pute? Internal environment. No, to identify its what? Strength and weakness, while it should analyze what, Pute? External environment to identify what, Pute? Opportunities and threats. Is that clear or no? Right. Okay. Right. Can you all answer question number 48 also? Very simple. I'll also answer right with you all. What is the difference between needs and wants, guys? Needs are essential, wants are optional, needs are limited, wants are unlimited, needs cannot be created, no, cannot be created, can be created, cannot be influenced, can be influenced, okay? Right? Needs are simple, wants are complex. Needs are similar, needs are common, wants are subjective, differs from person to person, right? Okay. Right, with it. Now moving on to, let me see this chapter, right? Okay, now look, I hope you all understood what is the important areas of chapter number 1, background of business and business environment. I have just completed that. Background of business and business environment. Good. I need replies, guys. I need replies. Come on. That's the important areas of the first chapter, right? If I take the second chapter, Buddha, look at this. Second chapter is something called business social responsibility and business ethics. No? Right. First of all, I will again talk about business social responsibility, Buddha. It means when you are involving in business, you are obviously going to achieve your goals and objective, you know, but at the same time you should also think about others, the effect or the impact that is created for the others, Pute. So BSR is about what, Pute, you know, while you are involved in business, you have to make sure that others are also benefited. So acting favorably, right? Okay, considering other stakeholders also. Very simple again, Kinavan, guys. We are now, guys, your objective is like you have to get 3 years, no. At the same time, make sure that other stakeholders, your parents, don't waste your parents' money. You come for the class and don't just no, don't just be selfish thinking about you only. Make sure others also. That means you're talking with your friend and you're learning. It's a disturbance for others. Those things only business social responsibility mainly means. You have to act in a favorable way, considering with all stakeholders' expectation. Acting in a favorable way, considering all stakeholders' expectation. However, in the exam they will ask, BSR is all about Pute, giving back to society. No, whose definition? Philippines. No, giving back to society. Whose definition? Philippines definition. BSR is all about, guys, what is it? Creating a positive impact to the society. Malon Baker's definition. He's a famous YouTuber. You can check, right? And BSR is all about like okay, but taking personal responsibility for its impact on the society. USA definition. Likewise, you should remember that definitions given in your syllabus guide because in MCQ they might be asking, should we know who said the definition? But I taught you all in a way you should remember. I said no, Philippines, giving back to society. I taught you all a technique how to remember USA. USA is always putting their head into everything. No, that's right. Taking personal responsibility for its actions and impact it creates to the society. USA definition. But if they ask from you what is social responsibility, it is all about acting favorably when involving in business activities. You act in a favorable manner considering all stakeholders expectation, right? Okay, and you should be knowing some definitions, right? Now creating a positive impact, Malin Baker's definition, right? And I also gave you all what guys, okay, that one of the Indians definition. No, what was his name? Anyone? Anyone? What was the name? Very good. Narayan Murthy. Yes. And also that world business counts in that definition. You should be knowing. And Puta, you should be knowing for whom you should fulfill. Who are the stakeholders you should fulfill the what guys objectives. You can name around six, Puta. I gave you in your tute six, but you know in your syllabus guide you have to fulfill your objective for your owner, the employee, the customer, and the society and the community. So you should be knowing what objectives you should fulfill towards each of the stakeholder. For example, for owner Puta, you should protect his investment, should provide a fair return. No, for employee should pay a fair salary, should provide good working environment. For customer should provide quality goods and services. For the community, you should provide what guys employment opportunity. You have to pay the taxes on time. So BSR is simply you involve in business while focusing other stakeholders expectation. Then what are the who are the stakeholders? You can say owner, manager, owner, employee, customer, community, supplier, government. But in your syllabus guide they mainly focus on owner, employee, customer, community. And you should know what are the social responsibilities you should fulfill towards each of these uh, stakeholder. Understood or no, guys? Okay, can I reply? Understood? Understood? So when it comes to ethics, Puta, you all is not a big chapter, no? But I hope you all remember I showed you all videos of John Keels. I gave you all two latest videos using the QR codes, no, to watch BSR to identify. I wrote even some project names. Anyone remember Project Wave Kila? We wrote some project names also. I did extra work for you all in that chapter. So business ethics, Puta, it's very simple. You involve in business by knowing. What do you call it as by knowing? Acknowledging good and bad. Simply Puta, you do good and you avoid bad. So simply this is not about Puta following law. This is BSR is what this is something more than law. We call it as beyond law. Now government says you can't like consume alcohol publicly. That is the law. Government never said you can't consume alcohol, no. But you are thinking I'm not going to consume alcohol, it is not good for my health, sometimes I will be intoxicated, I am like I will be out of my mind, so it's not good. So it's a moral conduct, Pute. It's a moral conduct. It is something more than the law. I always take this example, no. when you provide a seat, when you provide your seat to a person in the bus, old person or pregnant mother, or then it is not a law Puta, you should provide. But why you do that? Because you think it's the right thing to do. It's a moral conduct. Understood or no, guys? Right? And in this, we have something called Bude. If this ethics, if these ethics are published Puta into a document, if these ethics are published into a document where all the employees and the owner should follow, means we call it as what? Code of ethics. We call it as code of ethics. What is it? If anyone asks from me, so what is ethics? What is code of ethics? Ethics are whatever the behavior of employees and the owners within the business by understanding what is right and what is wrong, or involving in business by understanding right and wrong conduct is known as ethics, Buddha. Then what is code of ethics? If the ethics are provided in a document, in your school you have code of conduct, you should do this, you should not do this, you should greet the teachers, you should do this, don't do this, that is known as code of ethics. So when you are preparing this code of ethics, Putta, when you are preparing this code of ethics, you should focus on some factors. Sometimes you will get this question: what are the factors that should be prepared when preparing code of ethics, Putta? That means factors. So obviously, guys, every business will not have the same code of ethics. Now in a tuition industry, as well as guys in a vehicle service center, it can't be the same ethics. Why? The type of business is not same, the type of customer is not same. So we have to consider certain things when preparing code of ethics. So let me write it straight, right? So when you're preparing code of ethics, you should think about the customer. You can't prepare any ethics where it is inconvenient for the customer, no, guys. Okay, so you should think about the customer. The business is not same. You should think about the business, Puta. Right? Can I get a reply? You all understood what is meant by business social responsibility, for whom you should fulfill social responsibility, what is meant by business ethics, and also what is code of ethics. Can I get a reply, Puti? Everyone? I need replies. Yes. And guys, you should think about your employees. You should think about employees. And we should compete, Puta. We should compete with our competitors. But it should be what competition? Fair competition. We should not tarnish their image. We should say like our product is good, you come. We should not say they are bad, so you come to me. So we should think about competition when you are preparing code of ethics. You should think about the I can't create any ethic that is against any of the religion. No, no, I'm teaching in my class. Pute, we have all four different religions. So I can't focus on one religion. I should consider that when I'm behaving with you all in the class. So what is it? We have the socio culture, the businesses culture, organization culture, and I also should see whether the ethics I create is can be practically implemented, the practicalness of it. So what do we call this? These are the factors that should be considered when preparing code of ethics. Factors to be considered when preparing a code of ethics. So then one more thing you should know, something called as ethical behavior, Puta. This is good for your life also. Ethical behavior. This is even good for if you think, so how to be a good person, what to follow. Only three things, Pute. Number one is you should compete, how Pute? Fairly and honestly. You should compete fairly. Competition should be there. Fair and honest competition should be there. And also, you should always, sometimes guys, truth is bitter. But what is it? Communicate truthfully. Always say the truth. Now, when customers ask about the product, say the truth, what it is. Next one, Pute, make sure you don't, if you don't help anyone, it's not a problem in your life. But make sure because of you, no one is what facing any problem. So, do not cause any damage to outsiders, or do not cause any damage to outsiders. So compete fairly and honestly, communicate truthfully, do not cause any damage to outsiders are known as ethical behavior. This is what you should know about ethics, Puta. This is what you should know about ethics. Understood or no, guys? Ethics is all about involving in business by understanding what is right and wrong. So what is meant by then ethical behavior? Ethical behavior means you compete fairly honestly, you communicate truthfully, you do not cause any harm to others. And then what are the factors what is code of ethics? If the ethics are published in a document where the employees should follow, we call it as what, Pute? We call it as code of ethics. So when you're preparing a code of ethics, what factors you should consider? You see what is the business, who are the customers, the type of employees, and also you should see like what is the social cultural environment, what is the organization's culture, about the competitors, as well as about whether it could be practically implemented. I need replies, Puta. So far you all understood? Is it too much for your head? Normally you study the first 3 chapters for around 4 months, right? So is it too much to your head, Buddha? No, right? Right. So now, guys, even though the chapter heading is these two, Buddha, we have one more thing. What is it? We have a concept called, most of the places they don't explain this deep. Why? They just rush with the note, Pute, because this is a very simple concept. You have to understand sustainable development. First of all, let's see what is development here, Buddha. No, I'll explain also, right? Let's see what is development. Can any of my students say me what is development, Buddha? Puluwanda kiyanda. Development means what? Just development means? Development means increasing what, Pute? Very good. Increasing the quality of life. What is quality of life, guys? Another word is living standard. Just think that in Sri Lanka there is no electricity. Just think, in Sri Lanka there is no electricity. How, guys? You all can't even stay 1 hour without current, no network, no electricity. Look, guys, so quality of life is measured using various aspects. Buddha. Example, we see the education level, we see the income level. No, education we see, the income we see whether there is good health facilities. We see whether, guys, okay, the other living animal, the other, guys, what, guys, what do you call it as, other than the human, the other living animals, the natural habitat, whether it is been protected, whether the natural environment is protected. So living standard is not checked based on only money, not based on only education. There are various factors. So what is this sustainable development, Bhute? People's quality of life should increase. How you know? In a way, you also should be happy and the future generation should be happy. Now, for example, if the current generation right now is enjoying life, having a good living standard, but they are wasting resources which might affect the future generation, then we call, even though there is development right now, there will not be development in the future, no? So it is not sustainable development. So what is sustainable development? The development which take place by increasing the current living standard of the people, in a way the resources are used so that the future living standard also is able to increase their future generation is also able to increase their living standard. That's why, guys, most of them memorize the definition which is given by that World Commission for Economic and Sustainable Development. No, so you all know that you use the word that compromising the ability of the future generation to fulfill their need. You memorize, but if you understand, you can write in very simple English. Sustainable development is the type of development which take place where the resources are used very efficiently to increase the current living standard. At the same time, the future generation is also able to fulfill their increase their living standard. Understood or no? What is sustainable development? Understood? Then, Buddha, we have three pillars of sustainable development. So, why we call it as three pillars? If you take Buddha, if you take a roof or if you take a slab is always Buddha powerful. A slab is always powerful. Why Buddha? Because it has pillars. Is it clear? So now what is the slab here? We should achieve sustainable development. So you can achieve sustainable development. You should maintain three pillars for that, Pute. One pillar is known as the social sustainability. Other one is economical sustainability, and the other one is environmental protection sustainability. That's why the three pillars are known as social sustainability, economical sustainability, environmental sustainability. For example, think guys, in Sri Lanka, people are respecting each other, people are respecting, they are helping each other, and people are making money. But guys, it has become a concrete jungle. We are not protecting the environment. This is available, this is available, this is not available. It is not sustainable. So to become sustainable, not two of them, not one of them, three of them should be there. All three pillars. That's why, Bhute, you would have studied three pillars of no three pillars of sustainable development. So we have studied at school, classes, and all a diagram like this. No, we have learned a diagram like this. So in this, you all know social sustainability is there, environment sustainability is there, as well as economical sustainability is there. So if all three are met, we call it as what, Pute? That is only we call it as sustainable development. Remember, I taught you all shortcuts, Pute. What is the shortcuts I taught you all? SENB. Anyone remembers? Eve. And C. Social and environment, it's been, we call it as bearable. Bearable. Economic and environment, we call it as viable. Social and economical, we call it as equitable, fair. So look, they might ask you these words in the exam. What is it? Social and environment is bearable, economic and environment viable, social economical is equitable. If all three are there, that only we call it as what, Pute? Sustainable development. And what you should know in this, you should be knowing, Putta, for social, what are the factors to be considered and what are the steps taken by the business to contribute. Economical, what are the facts to be considered by the business, what are the steps taken to contribute for economic sustainability. Environment, what are the factors to be considered, what are the steps taken by the business to fulfill environment sustainability. So if you want a small explanation about social sustainability, it's all about people respecting each other. You respect, you do not discriminate people. You do not now people are in various types, age wise, gender wise, ethnicity wise, color wise, height wise, population diversity is there. Respect everyone, right? Make sure others also should be having a good life. Economic means what, guys, okay? Just having what, making people happy is not enough, guys. Make sure people are able to make money. Money is important. You should be able to fulfill the needs and wants. Economic environment. Environment is very easy. Do not harm the natural environment. Understood or no, guys? Okay. Understood? And one thing I forgot to say under social responsibility, they might ask you in the exam, what are the benefits for the business by fulfilling social responsibility? Business can easily achieve with their objectives. The business is the business can face competition successfully. The business will sure exist in the market, guys, okay? And you can use it as a marketing tool. So likewise, Pute, you will have more, you can increase loyal customers. They will ask you benefits by fulfilling BSR, and they might ask you about what are the factors to be considered, steps taken of each pillar. And then you should know in chapter number 2 the 4R concept. I hope everyone know what is it. Reduce, recycle, replace, and reuse. What comes under recycle? There are two types, Puta. What is it? I taught you all upcycle and low cycle or down cycle. What is upcycle? I am taking less value material and converting to high value goodies. Upcycle. Down cycle, I am taking high value product, crushing that and making it lower value means down cycle, right? So you know what is reduce, recycle, replace, and reuse. Understood or no, guys? Understood or no? Right, okay, Buddha. Right, let's see. Question number 12 and 13. You might get similar questions. Answer. We'll discuss, Buddha. An action that a business can take to ensure economic sustainability. So economic sustainability is all about, Buddha, we are trying to like do increase the increase the income of the country. So produce, innovate, give jobs. Don't memorize, Buddha. Eh? Income you know that we should produce more. Then we have to innovate. You think about new goods and services, and you have to think about giving jobs to the people. We have to make sure that making the transaction process easy, no, payment process easily. Likewise, think about like all earning there. So here, human rights, maintaining law, waste management is environment, law and order. So it's equal law. This is social. Risk management is going to be the answer, guys. Okay. What is risk management in like economic? When you are involving in business, do not put all your money into one place and waste that money. Try to manage the risk. If one goes in a loss, then you try to manage it by creating a profit in another business. First one. Following are some of the problems prevalent in the world, Buddha. Socio-economic problems. That means, shall I say, remove the environment problems with everyone? If you don't know the answer, remove the environment problems. Environment. Yes, environment. So what do we have as answer, guys? Okay. So I removed environment. Income inequity, gap between rich and poor increase. Income inequity means rich is becoming rich and richer, poor is becoming poorer and poorer. Obesity, you all know, our healthy food, every social problem. No, people are now used to junk foods too, guys. Okay, hurry. Brain drain. What is brain drain? In economics, you would have learned, Puta. When people leave their country and go to another country for jobs, not everyone, professionals, doctors, lawyers, accountants, engineers, if they leave the country and they go, means here professionals will go reduce. Brain drain. Unemployment. Do we have an answer? B, C, D, G? Third one. Understood or no, guys? Okay. Understood? Right, here, guys, there's another question here. State four facts that should be considered when fulfilling social sustainability, guys. So I said, when you're going to fulfill social sustainability, write down that answer also, guys, quickly. Just discussing a paper means it won't take much time, but you know what I'm doing for you all. I'm just revising the entire 3 chapters for you all again, right? So what are the factors you should consider when you're thinking about people? You give everyone equal opportunities, you increase their living standard, create respect. Think about social integrity. Integrity means respect, right? Okay. Check with your answers, guys. If you haven't written, write down. As a business, we have to always, when we want to fulfill social sustainability, we should think about people living standard. So increasing living standard of the people, we should think about giving chances for everyone. Don't not differentiate people. So respecting what, guys, or we can say respecting what population diversity, or provide equal opportunities. Next one, do not look into another culture as a low culture. You should make sure you protect all the cultures. That's why, guys, in Sri Lanka, when there's Christmas, no matter which business, everyone has this Christmas decoration. Now Ramazan festival comes, every business will have something for Ramazan. Sinhala Tamil New Year comes, everyone will have something. So you have to respect or protect the cultural environment, protect tradition. Next one, make sure you give some skills, experience for the employees. We call it as human capital. What is human capital? It is not labor. Labor is labor, no. Human capital is the knowledge, experience, education gained by the employees. Contribute for that. Teach others. That is only we call it as human capital, right? All right. So that is going to be chapter number 2 there, right? Okay, that is chapter number 2. Right? Can you all continue, guys? Can we continue? What is it? Do you all have the mindset, or what is it? Or again, I'm saying it's you. I'm going to consider. You all understood chapter 1 and 2, guys? Chapter 3 very recently you all did. I'll give a small, I'll give a rough idea about everything of chapter 3 on the Rahagan, right? Okay, I'll make sure that you understand everything. I'm not 100% sure whether I can explain everything. Whatever the doubts you all can ask, Pute. So chapter number 3 is all about government and business. I'll teach you what you should know as a student, right? As a student, what you should be knowing is, first of all, about government. You should be about government with a, you should be able to say what is a government. There are three topics. What is a government? What are the objectives of a government? How would business contribute the government to achieve objectives? How will the business help the government to achieve? And you should know, Buddha, what are the ways the government would influence business. I call in my class as this is the triple eight. No, remember? Right. So what is it, guys? The first thing you should know is what you know. What are the objectives of government? How will the business help the government to achieve the objectives? And how would the government influence objectives? And you should know, guys, what are the government policies? So you all know there are two policies. Anyone knows what is it? Fiscal policy and monetary policy. Remember, fiscal policy is all about what, Pute? Government revenue, income, and government expense. Monetary policy is all about controlling money supply in order to what, Pute? In order to control inflation, right? And you should be knowing what are the monetary policy instruments, what are the types of government income, what are the types of government expense. Government income we have, I'm just going to outline everything, tax and non-tax. Tax we have direct, I can remember there I explain all the type of tax with meaning, not just giving notes, right? And then here we have day-to-day expenses, recurrent expense, and we have long-term expenses, capital expenses. Under instruments, Putha, you studied something called facility rate or interest rate. Remember, what did you learn under facility rate or interest rate? You studied, we have SDFR, SLFR and bank rate. Then I said you all the new name for this what? Overnight policy rate. The new name is overnight policy rate. And other than that, you all know you studied, what are the other instruments you studied? Statutory reserve ratio, change in the discount rate, open market operation, and credit control techniques. Those are the instruments. And you all know what comes under direct tax example. You should know what comes under indirect tax example. You should know what comes under non-tax. Right? So here, if you see this Putha, this will explain not the entire chapter 3. The basics of chapter number 3 about government. Okay. So let me quickly say this to you all Putha. Just go through. A government of Sri Lanka, the government, I'll take Sri Lankan government or any government, but Sri Lankan government, to achieve the economic objectives. There are something called economic objectives, Buddha. We need a government. So what are the objectives? I'll write the short form. Using all the resources in the business is known as full employment. Using all the resources in production, full employment. And then guys, okay, making sure the price level is not going to change and the country is stable means economic stability. Making sure the country produces more and more goods and services, economic growth, people's living standard increases, economic development. And Putha, favorable international trade should be there. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 favorable international trade. And there should be a fair distribution of income. That means what? When the country makes money, it should be fairly distributed among the people. And I said something called economic efficiency. Resources should be used without wasting. It should be allocated also efficiently, and people should have the should protect their rights. We call economic freedom. And then business contribute the government to achieve objectives. How can the business help the government? You should learn. The business will pay taxes. The business is giving jobs to people. Business is using local resources. Business is having a proper waste management. The business is paying tax. I said y'all. Business is following rules and regulations. These are known as how can the business help the government to achieve objectives. Then how will the government influence the business? How will they put their head into business? Sometimes the government is a customer, government is an advisor, government is a competitor, government wise provide us infrastructure facilities, government will impose rules and regulation, government will impose policies, right? Government will provide advisory services. So look, as a customer, as a I said advice, customer, as a advice, I said here, right? As a competitor, as an infrastructure provider, as a regulator, as a policymaker, and they help the business as an incentive provider. Likewise, you have Bhute, how would the government influence? Last one is as a tax agent. Look, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. As a customer, they influence. They go and buy goods. Advisor, they say do this, don't do this. Fisherman, don't go fish. The weather is bad. As a competitor, CTV bus, private bus is there. Infrastructure provider, they provide road facilities and all. As a regulator, they impose rules and regulation. As a policymaker, they create fiscal and monetary policy. As an incentive provider, they give interest-free loans, manure, fertilizer, subsidy for the farmers. They help. As a taxator, they charge taxes. I know it's a little bit fast I am doing, but it's lack of time. Did you all understand? They will ask you questions with relate to this 888, guys. Understood, guys? You should know what are the objectives, how would the business would help the government to achieve objectives, and how would the government would influence the business. So to achieve the objectives, now even if you want 3A Puta, you should have some policies, no? Right? So to achieve the business objective Puta, government should have some policies. Policies means guidelines. What is policies? Guideline. How are you going to achieve this objective? There are two main policies, fiscal policy and monetary policy. Fiscal policy is all about managing government income and expense. Monetary policy is managing to control inflation. That is how you can do that, by controlling it. So for in I can remember in theory class, to explain only these things I spend one class. Normally in any other class they will do this everything in one class, but I said your stories. I showed your videos, I showed you all actually how it works without memorizing notes, right? Okay, right. So you should be aware about this. And what is meant by direct and indirect tax Pute? If a tax can be shifted from one person to another person. Example, VAT is charged on the business put that into the customer's head, indirect tax. Income tax you can't shift, no. Direct tax, you should know the examples there. Other than this Puta, in chapter number 3, you should be good in consumer protection. You should define what is consumer protection. You should know what are the consumer rights. No? So remember the consumer rights? John F. Kennedy, John F. Kennedy's rights, the 35th USA president, what did he say, Puta? He said, every consumer should have four rights: safety, inform, choose, and heard. So I call it as SITCH in simple terms. He introduced this in March 15th, 1962. Remember? Right. So March 15th is known as the World Consumer Day. And there's another organization known as Consumer International, Puta. Consumer International brought four rights. Every consumer should be able to live in a healthy environment. And also they said every consumer should be able to what guys fulfill basic needs. Every consumer should have the right to obtain consumer education. Every consumer is able to obtain compensation, to seek redress. So they might ask you about the rights there. John F. Kennedy four rights: sits safety, inform, choose, heard. Consume International four rights: right to live in a healthy environment, right to fulfill basic needs, right for consumer education, right to seek redress. What is right to seek redress? You know, if there's any consumer exploitation or injustice, consumer should have the right to receive any compensation for that. And then guys, you should know about benefits of consumer protection, the advantage for whom? For the consumer and for the business, as well as for the, you should know what are the consumer responsibilities. As a consumer, you have five responsibilities: critical awareness, social awareness, right? Okay, environmental concern, and also actionability and solidarity. So please go through this also, they will check with that. So then organizations established to protect consumers, you all know, Pute: Consumer Affairs Authority, Sri Lanka Standard Institution, Central Environment Authority, Measurement Units and Weighing and Standard Department, Medical Officer of Health Department is there, Divisional Secretary Office is there, Telecommunication Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka is there. So I know it's not enough time there, but I taught you all what is the relevant act, Puta. Number 9 of 2003, Consumer Affairs Authority Act. Sri Lanka Standard Institute Act, Pude, number 6 of 1984. In SLSI, you should know what are the standards implemented, guys. Okay, ISO 9001, ISO 14001, 22001, 26001, 27001, 45001, 50001, SA 8000 standard, HACCP standard, and GMP standard. I explained you all these things using short methods. Remember, 9 means letter Q. It's all about quality. 14 trees, remember, environment management standard. I said Parata 22. These are shortcuts I taught you all. Food safety management, marry at the age of 26, social responsibility standard. 27, divorce, information security management standard. 45,000, occupational health and safety standard, energy management standard, social accountability standard, hazard analysis critical control point, good manufacturing practices, and Sri Lanka Standard Institute. Sri Lanka standards, right? So in Consumer Authority, you should know what are the objectives, what are the functions. SLSI, objectives, what are the functions. These are the main things for your chapter number 3, Puta. Right? These are the main things for chapter number 3. I'll repeat again here. You should know the objectives of government. You should know how the business will help the government, how the government would influence the business, and everything about the government policies. Government policies regarding managing the income and expense of government is fiscal policy. Regarding making sure that the objective is price stability is monetary policy. The objective of fiscal policy is macroeconomic stability. Objectives of monetary policy is maintaining price stability or controlling inflation. Then you should know how to control the money supply using various instruments, facility rate or interest rate, SDFR, SLFR, bank rate, buying and selling treasury bills and bonds, open market operation, imposing a percentage that should be kept without providing loans for the commercial bank, statutory reserve ratio, and changing the discount rate before the maturity they are able to obtain the money, and credit control, quantitative and qualitative credit control. About consumer puta, you should know about consumer rights, consumer responsibility, John F. Kennedy's four rights, Consumer International during 1985, the four rights, and then benefits of consumer protection for the consumer and the business, as well as with a all about consumer authority, what are its objectives, what are its functions, as well as uh, benefits of them for the business, Sri Lanka Standard Institution objectives, functions, and method of implementing standard. Also, they will show ask in MCQs what are these standards. 9000 shortcut Q quality. I said I plant 14 trees. Environment. I said I eat 22 paratas. Food safety management. Married at 26. Social responsibility. Divorced at 27. Story. Information security management. You are working at 45 age and falling down. Occupational health and safety. Fridge is 50,000, energy management standard, social accountability, hazard analysis, critical control point. When you are producing mainly medicinal items, cosmetic items, make sure you proper follow production procedure, good manufacturing practice, right? So these are the main things, Buddha, right? Okay, I know it's like everything on the go. Now, if you take the questions here, I stopped here. Right, Budhe. Here, look. Let's answer 14, 15, 16, 17. ISO 9001 is what, Budhe? I'll answer straight away. ISO 9001 is here. Quality management. What is environment? 14,000. Food safety? 22,000. Social accountability? SA 8,000. Occupational health and management? SA 45. Sorry. For ISO 45,000. In school, they might teach you OHAS 18,000. It is the old one. The new one is ISO 45,000. Right. And then here, I said they will tackle you all between, they will try to confuse you between these three topics, Puta, here. These three topics you all see, they are trying to confuse you between these three topics. Here, economic aims and contribution of the business community. They are asking what are the aims. Full employment, economic stability, economic growth, economic development, fair distribution of income, economic freedom, favorable international trade, economic efficiency. Here, look, what are the aims? Stability, full employment, economic efficiency, ACNF, ACNF, fifth one, guys. Here, following are some of the ways in which the government influence business. Now they are saying one of the ways which provincial council. So there are three types of government. I did not say that. You all know, right? We have three elections in Sri Lanka. Mahamativaranaya, Palat Sabhava, Pradesi Sabhava. General election, central government is decided. Provincial council and local council. So they are saying what is done by this provincial council, guys. So what is done by provincial council? Electricity is done by central government. Not the answer. Taxation, central government. Not the answer. Means of this is what, guys, what do you call symmetry and all maintain. It's what and implements of business name charter provincial council. Look, there are two answers, but we can go with D because why? You register the business name in the relevant provincial council. D as the answer, guys. The statement of revenue and expense of the government is known as state budget. And who prepares that, Pute? Who prepares the government budget? Government income and expense is in the government budget. Who would prepare that? It is the finance minister. In Sri Lanka, our president itself is the finance minister, right? Okay, right. Here, guys, I said you all about organization that will protect consumers, Consumer Affairs Authority, Sri Lanka Standard Institute, Central Environment Authority, Measurement Units Weighing Standard Department, Medical Officer of Health, Divisional Secretary Office, Telecommunication Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka. Now they are saying here, in this that is not involved in consumer protection. So look, I said about Sri Lanka Standard, Telecommunication Regulatory Commission, Measurement Standard Service Department, Consumer Authority. This is Income Tax Department. So answer is number 3, guys. You all know this, no? Accepting personal responsibility for its action and impact on societies, United States of America, right? Below are some statements related to business ethics and social responsibilities, Buddha. They are asking what comes under business ethics. 3, ethical behavior, competing fairly and honestly, acting in a manner that does not harm others, right? Ensuring, oh, B and D, Buddha. B and D, answer is D and B, 5th one. Okay. And there are, can anyone see me the answer for the 27th, Buddha? 27th and 28th and 29th? I'll stop, don't worry. 27, 28, 29. I hope I just focused on the main this one. Answer is very simple to answer this. SDFR is the interest rate deposit. No, when commercial bank and primary dealers deposit, they receive interest from the central bank. Guys, go and see. An interest rate provided by the central bank here. So first one is E, Puta. There is one answer, two answer. Open market operation is what you know. Open market, buying and selling of treasury bills and bonds by the central bank, guys. Here. Second one is B, A, Puta. So still there is two answers. What is SRR? The percentage that should be. SRR, the percentage that should be kept by the commercial banks as a minimum deposit without providing loans. Here, D. Third one should be D. So still both have D answers. Right. Next one. Let me see. SLFR. SLFR is when central bank charges when the commercial banks and primary dealers, guys, okay, all right, keep the securities as collateral and obtain loan, guys. Yes, pledging government securities, obtain loan. C, what is then bank rate? You know, when commercial banks face liquidity issues, for the sudden loan they will take no sudden loan from the central bank as the lender of last resort. For that only bank interest rate. So answer is 5th one. Question 28, Puta. Government objective and where the business can contribute. Remember I said your 888, guys, okay? So they are saying in this among the above, the number of ways in which the business community can contribute to achievement is, they are asking how can they contribute. Economic stability is an objective, full employment objective, favorable international trade objective. How can the business help? Pay taxes, use local resources, follow the government policy, adherence for government policies. 3 is the answer. Here they are asking what are direct taxes, Puta. So here the excise tax is not a direct tax, custom duty is not a direct tax, tax on import tax is not a direct tax, not a direct tax, not a direct tax. 5th one is direct tax, Puta. Capital gain tax means when you sell assets, you get a profit capital gain for that tax. Income tax paid by company, corporate profit tax. Income tax paid by individual personal income tax. Income tax paid on interest, normally we call it as what you know, withholding tax, that is there. Right. So question number 30 also you can answer here. How they influence and what is the this one. And let me ask from your students, okay? Did you all understand today's explanation regarding this, guys? At least you would have got an overall idea of the three chapters that is to be tested in your exam. Right, normally if it is my if my students only, I'll be doing in the physical location straight away the paper and the important area will be discussed here. I just wanted to help everyone out, no problem, right? Even though you are in my theory or no, I just wanted to help, guys. So I think, guys, okay, like I know it's too much to process in your head. Shall I provide you all this PDF in that relevant group, the exam paper with the part 2. I have the part 2 also here, guys, okay. I have the part 2 question also created for you all here, right? Everything related to what we hear, I have created the part 2 also question, right? There are 3 part 2 questions here and there are 50. About these logos, Puta, you should know this is Consumer Affairs Authority, Central Environment Authority, right? This is Consumer Authority, the Central Environment Authority. Anyone has seen this logo, guys, okay? Anyone has seen that logo? It's Sri Lanka police. No, yes, Sri Lanka police. That is the logo, right? You can see an emblem of Sri Lanka. Very good, Yazir. Anyone fourth one? Very good, Yazir. Fourth one. Fourth one. So first one is Consumer Affairs Authority, right? This is Central Environment Authority. United Nations, Puta. Right? United Nations, right? Okay. So here again 9001 quality, environment, food safety, social responsibility. Look, almost we have discussed these questions here. Through internal price stability, government can control. Through internal price stability, government can control blank and blank rate. We can say money supply interest rate. Our objective of blank is to maintain blank. Objective of fiscal policy is to maintain stability of the economy, while the objective of monetary policy is to protect the price stability, right? Shall I share the papers with you all, guys? Okay, shall I share the papers with you all then? Shall I share the papers? So I will have another session. I know today the time is such, like tomorrow is your exam day. So I will I hope you all got something out of this. I would like to know, guys, whether it was effective for you all to know something of all the chapters we learned. A small brush up agati bane ne. I hope so. I'm not trying to persuade you all, right? Okay. Next time when I'm doing what will I do? I'll straight away discuss. I'll say students get prepared and come for the exam. I will straight away discuss the paper, right? So obvious this was the paper I prepared for your exam to be held at IMS. Unfortunately, we were unable to have it. That day was there, but sometimes you all know the crowd is more 150 plus students there. So I did not have proper space because you can't keep in the classroom. You have to have gap between each student, right? Okay, right, Buddha. Okay, but then I will end up the session, Buddha. I will share the PDF probably today or tomorrow. I'll share the PDF in your group there. I'll say the coordinator share the group, this one. I will be having again a discussion for accounting, but I'll be having the exam of accounting physically. I'll discuss the accounting paper online. So you all stay in that relevant community. Nothing will be posted. Just a Zoom link to discuss your accounting paper after the exam, right? So very soon we'll be having exams despite the school exams held or not held, right? Okay, Buddha. So I hope you all understood. Uh, that's all. Anything else? Anything else? All right. All right, Buddha. Okay. So see you all then, right? Thank you all for joining. Yeah, no worries, Buddha. Right. Thank you all for joining. Right. So I'll meet you all in my next meeting. I'll be discussing a paper after having a physical exam online. Also, no problem. I'll be discuss that paper with you all, including the accounting paper. Right. Okay. Right. See you all, students. Have a good night. All the best for your tomorrow's exams as well as upcoming exams in school. Right. Okay. So good night. Right. All right, students. All right. Okay. Welcome. Welcome. God bless you too. Bye. All right, so I'm clicking the end button then. See you all. See you all. Okay.